What up, dude, bro? Spider-Man Miller. I am finally back. Hope you like the new setup, but today is going to be a group review, which is Nerf Pro, of the Nerf Pro Torrent and the Nerf Pro Sender. Pretty interesting blasters, but let's get into this group review.
Included with the Torrent is the blaster itself, magazine, 15 darts, instruction manual, and safety glasses. Included with the sender is the blaster itself, magazine, 30 darts, safety glasses, and instructions. This blaster requires 8 AA batteries and are installed as shown.
So first, starting out with the Torrent. This is a pump-action magazine-fed blaster. So external overview, starting up at the front, there is no instruct barrel lug, lay bummer. Up above, we do have a rival rail. This is not a Picatinny rail. I have no idea why they're not using Picatinny rails, but there's only like one attachment you can put on this, which is the rival scope. Down below, we do have the priming handle. This whole white thing is the priming handle. So to prime, you do that. The prime stroke is disgusting. That's the only way I could describe this. It doesn't feel well. It feels like it's scraping against the plastic, and it's uncomfortable, and you have to be very deliberate with this prime, and it's very uncomfortable. However, like I said, this whole thing is the priming handle, so if you really wanted to, you could top prime this, and for some reason, that's more comfortable to do. I have no idea why. So if you don't want to use this weirdly shaped priming handle, you could just top prime this. Up above, we do have this little gaping hole. That is for when this is primed back, you can flick this little door, which gets your finger in there to clear out jams and malfunctions. I've had quite a few jams with this, which we will go over in the after the firing demo. But to close that, you just shove that, and then you're ready to go. Down below, we do have a trigger safety. So when it's protruding to the backside, I'm safe. I cannot pull the trigger. Flick this forward, and I can pull the trigger. Now down to the trigger. The trigger pull is okay. It's a nice clean break when it wants to be. However, this blaster does not have slam fire, yet I did actually manage to slam fire off 5 shots. And I don't know what it is. For some reason, this thing shouldn't slam fire. However, again, to restate, off camera, I have been able to slam fire this with 5 shots, because if you try to prime it, it can go back, but it's not locking. So that can effectively help you to joke not fire the blaster, but that just feels disgusting, so I don't really want to keep doing that. And now getting down to the grip. The grip's okay. That's not really anything I can say much about it, but it's not the most comfortable thing because it does take a magazine. However, the top part where your middle finger rests is constantly like forced down if you try to choke up on the grip, so it's not the most comfortable. And it doesn't really help that there's no magazine release that is in a right place, because the magazine release is behind your finger, so you have to constantly readjust your grip. And then here's the thing that I don't like. If you are trigger disciplined, which you should be, it is rule 3, you can't really hold your trigger finger out on this comfortably. If you put it up here, it's too high. If you put it lower, you are literally just pointing, and when you put it in the place where I find it the most comfortable, you try to go and prime it, your finger is going to get messed up, and it's not comfortable. It's a little annoying. And now getting down to the magazine. So to remove the magazine, this technically does have a skinny pusher, so you can take it out and reinsert it like that, but unfortunately they poorly designed it because the skinny pusher is a little too fat. So taking it out and putting it in, there's a ridiculous amount of force. However, that goes away when it's primed back. So if you're going to get this, I highly recommend priming it back before you reinsert and take out the magazine. So you can do that however way you want, but I recommend priming it back. And this is the included magazine with the Torrent and the sender, and it is a 15-round angled Talon-like mag. And the only compliment I will really give these blasters is these are actually really solid. However, if you want the best quality, I highly recommend going over to avadarts.com and getting more spare mags from there, because these mags are $15 for one mag with enough darts to fill it once. Just go save the trouble, go pay $10 over at the darts for angled. They're so much better. However, this is different from the normal mag that we are expecting, because these came with the Nerf Pro Strife X, but these are normal Talon-like mags. So these are designed to go into the blaster. These are designed to go in at an angle. So when you're going to get reloads, make sure you get them with the title angled in the name, because they have to be angled for them to work, because a normal Talon mag just won't work. As you can see here, well, this one obviously has the feed lips, but so just make sure you're getting the right ones to make it work flawlessly. And now getting back to the magazine release, this is another feature I just do not like. It's in a very awkward position to where you constantly have to readjust your grip. So it's a button design, and you could do it like this, take out the mag. You could technically use your finger right here, but that's dumb. Or just lift your finger up like this, pull it out. I don't know why it was put here. It would have made more sense to put it down here or somewhere else besides here. So that's just a personal complaint, which we will get into in my opinion. And now back to the stock. The stock is pretty short in length, so it's kind of a difficulty and a pain to prime off of it. But what's this? It's an N-Strike stock attachment point. So if you want to get your favorite Nerf stock and put it onto this blaster, you totally can. Thank you so much, Hasbro, for those tactics. However, that's another thing, because I'm pretty sure you can see here, when you put your favorite stock on here, it is so long and uncomfortable. And that is because if you are normal to using your favorite stock, you're going to want to downsize, because effectively, where the stock attachment point is to the grip, this is essentially like a built-in stock. And the reason why this doesn't work is because it only extends it out by an inch, so it does decrease the length effectively. And down below, we do have an unjamming button. After you prime the blaster, you're not able to prime it again. Pushing this button in allows you to deprime the blaster and to get in there and clear any jams, which again, I have had a lot of them. And as you can see right here, it's not fully primed back. But that is an external overview of the Nerf Pro Torrent. Now getting to the external overview of the Nerf Pro Senders. Starting up front, again, there is no N-Strike barrel lug. Up above, we do have another rival style tactical rail. Again, I wish this could be Picatinny, but I can't win apparently with this. And now getting down to the grip. The grip's okay. It's pretty comfortable for the most part. However, being a thumbhole stock, it does inherit your movement quite a bit. But my biggest gripe comes to the rev trigger and the main trigger itself. So the rev trigger is pretty bulky, and it doesn't feel the best. And when you come to the trigger, it's pretty sharp in most areas. And again, the same problem. When I'm doing trigger discipline, I'm essentially just pointing. I'm not pointing at anything over in my closet. I am literally having to point because I can't rest this comfortably anywhere. So it just has to sit out in La La Land and just be like, hey, look over there. You see that? You see that? That's a failed product. Down below, we do have the battery door. This takes 8 AA batteries, and it's a really funny design, as you can see from the stock footage. I originally opened this up and I thought it was only 4. Flip it over, and it's a funny batteries drawer, and it's actually pretty well balanced for the most part, but the thumb hole area kind of makes this less comfortable and a lot more back heavy. Up above here, we do have a trigger safety, so when it's in the front position, I can't pull any trigger. Flip this back, and I can pull the trigger. Back behind, we do have the magazine again. To remove the magazine, you want to strike the magazine release, which is a flappy paddle. And again, the same kind of magazine, same thing. Ghetto Pro, Worker Talon, angled magazine, it's much better. However, the mag insertion is uncomfortable because essentially, because it's angled, you have to really adjust this weird. And taking it out and putting it in takes a lot of force because, again, you have to get used to the angle going in. Instead of going straight up, you're going to have to rock it in at an angle. So be aware of that. And the magazine release is in a pretty comfy spot. It's a little weird because it isn't angled. So you're going to have to kind of readjust your muscle memory. Up above, we do have a jam door. To lift that up, you can just easily do that. And this jam door is very flimsy plastic. And then you can get in there to clear our jams or malfunctions. I have not had a jam or malfunction with this, just a few issues which we will go over in my opinion. And then back behind, again, we have the same N-Strike stock attachment point. So again, you can grab your favorite stocks, and again, this kind of has the same issue to where you're going to want to downsize on this because this is pretty long, and here's an issue. So this stock attachment point, along with the Torrent, is very poorly designed because a lot of stocks are very loose on this. And as you can see here, it feels like I'm about to break off this stock attachment point. So we will go over all these issues after we get to the firing demo, because that is an external overview of the Nerf Pro Torrent and Sender. Now let's show these babies out in the range. First, starting with the Nerf Sender with the included darts. Now firing the Nerf Pro Torrent with the included darts. So yeah, you could see that firing these blasters is very hit and miss. And let me explain why. So for starters, let's start off with the Sender. The reason why this one was a little inconsistent was because, again, I accidentally let go of the rev trigger and it was still going. Because again, this isn't really well designed because of how fat it is. You sometimes think, oh, I still have pressure on it. Oh wait, no I don't. And then also, as you saw, this thing couldn't even go in a straight line because these are misaligned flywheels. So it's taken them completely opposite directions. Oh, and let's get into the Torrent. With the Torrent, I don't know if y'all know this, but there is a plastic barrel on the inside of this, not a metal compression one. And not only that, with this thing's prime action, it destroys darts. You know what? I actually found that dart. You want to see it? This is the dart that got jammed during the firing demo. It completely destroyed it. I've destroyed 6 darts with this thing. It is so annoying. And now let's actually go over the included darts, because also they could be another reason why they were going out of control and also they were squibbing. So these are the included darts that come with these blasters. They are newly designed over their AccuStrike variants, which, to be honest, I was a little happy about because I guess Hasbro heard my complaints. However, they didn't hear it enough because there's a crazy amount of glue on these. And what's funny is these are actually a shorter head than what you would get usually with a Pro Dart or like from Dart Zone. So effectively, you think that they would be better. Wrong. Because of their glue, they are terrible in springers, and out of these blasters, it actually causes them to work less. So, do you want to know how these perform? Oh, well, I'll tell you, because I put them both above my chronograph. With the included darts, I was getting an average, at least with the Torrent, of about 140, but they were all over the place. I was getting 120, 96, 150. It was out of control. And then with VentureForce Pro Ember darts, which worked terribly out of this, I got an average of about 110 to maybe 120, but the actual average is about 120. And then with Ruby darts, I was getting an average of about 132 feet per second. But again, those are all over the place. Now, to the Sender. The Sender was getting an average, with Ember darts at least, of about 130. 130 is what I calculated. But again, they were kind of all over the place. With the included darts, I was getting an average of about 145 feet per second. But then they were kind of spiraling out of control. So I was getting 130s. I was getting all over the place. Ruby darts, I've got an average of about 120. So that is all the objective information I can provide in these blasters. None of my personal opinion. Overall, I am incredibly disappointed with these products. These products were manufactured in literally this year. And Nerf blasters, thanks to this resource from my buddy Brickosaurus227, these Nerf blasters are usually made a year in advance and then tested and then got all their kinks out for the upcoming year. They rushed these blasters so quick to the point to where there's thousands out there that barely work. There are a lot out there that apparently do work, and I can confirm this from a few different people, like my buddy Tessera, and then a few others, but apparently a lot of people are getting busted ones. Go check out Wallcom and that little bubble up there, and also my buddy Brickosaurus, because they got ones that don't work. Because this has misaligned flywheels, and this one just has a poor priming setup, and that very disappoints me. They could have waited a year. I would have been okay if they waited a year to release these, but no. Wanting to try to outshine the company for this year, where they brought N series, they brought more rival, and completely obscured the elite dart out of existence. I thought these were actually going to be good. I was excited for these because, one, their prices weren't outrageous, and also they actually looked cool, and two, they were new, and I actually thought they were going to be better. But no, they decided to rush this like they rush everything, Elite 2.0, Alpha Strike, everything, and it disappoints me. For all the faults I gave the Strife X, at least this thing has not had an issue. I still hate this thing because it's $120, but I am actually on here to say that overall, how does this work better than these? I don't understand it. These actually work better. And you can't even get your hands on this technically anymore because they're out of stock on Amazon. But you see, that blaster actually works fine. This one, or these two, don't. So, sorry for the negative tone, but I'm actually quite irritated and frustrated with Nerf this year. So now to the question, to buy or not to buy. Only buy these if you are a modder. If you are a modder, you could fix these up and turn these into absolute monsters. But in stock form, if you are looking for a pro blaster at all, go check out Dart Zones like Venom Pro, Nexus X, anything like that. Don't buy these unless you are a modder and you could go inside and fix them. So sorry for my negative tone. Thank you so much for watching the video, dude bros. Much love, blast on, and stay tactical.
Hey, boss. Oh. What do you need? The video is finished. It's all edited. Thank you, editing Spider Ninja Miller. Just have that uploaded in a few hours. Got it. But don't you think you're a little harsh today? What? You know, it didn't look proper entirely. And you didn't even mention the fact that the mags can take technically 18 darts. Okay, no, there is no excuse. But they just manufactured them in a year. You gotta give them some credit. And I don't care. They know how to make good Nerf blasters, and they don't. Don't even try coming at me with that, because you know you're gonna lose with that. Just go finish editing. Yes, sir. And get that ridiculous costume off. You're embarrassing the man.